Okay, guys, I have a couple disclaimers right off the bat. Number one, I think we have all seen from my last video that I have at least currently lost my microphone privileges. I move my hands too much and I do all the things and then I hit it and it makes a loud sound and it's just not cute. So no microphone today because I'm not trying to do all that. Two, I've got a desk over here that I've got some stuff on. I'm going to be reaching for it. And so you might see this ear is just a little bit nasty. I had a couple of biopsies on it the other day. It's been bleeding a lot. So right now it's open to the ear to hopefully congeal and clot and do all the things that it's supposed to do. So this is your PSA. Don't go tanning in tanning beds. Don't try and kill yourself by getting a massive tan on vacations when you're younger. There's nothing wrong with being pale, okay? We can just be pale and healthy. We don't have to be tanorexic, okay? So let's just not do that. Unfortunately, I was ridiculous from 18 to 21, I think. Like that was just a whole consistent tan and tanning beds time in my life. And I have skin cancer that runs in my family. So that was super dumb. Plus that is known to cause skin cancer, period. So this is not, listen, I'm not here to debate anything with you. I'm just telling you that I wish that I had followed other people's advice so that I did not have to get things checked and biopsied, etc. So PSA, don't do that. But that is nothing to do with what we're here for today. Do you guys see? I've got a Hello Kitty and Friends shirt. I really thought you'd be able to see it, which is why I wore it, and you can't, but that's okay. Just know that it's there. I also want to show you, it's a little like space ice cream Bats Maru. I don't honestly know, like what made you put the sprinkles, the ice cream sprinkles with a space theme? Am I missing something? Is this like part of a thing? I don't know, but he was just the smallest, cutest little squishmallow and his little angry face. And so I loved him. And so I picked him up. Also, at the same time, I picked up a blind box that had this stress ball in it. It's looking better on camera, to be honest. I think that the lights in front of me are making it look better. Fresh out of the box, this looks used. Like the white is dingy. It looks like she's dirty. It looks like she needs to be cleaned. So I'm definitely going to play with it because it's already messed up. So there's no reason for me not to. But I think it's still cute. And so I just wanted to show you guys. But the reason that I have gathered you here today, none other than to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 and my experience in getting it. Okay. So I think I already told you guys my pre-order experience, but the pre-order that I kept, because if you remember, I had a GameStop in-person physical pre-order and I had a Target online pre-order. And I was hearing from everybody that their Target pre-orders were getting canceled. So I kept it just in case. Excuse me, had a minor interruption. We have a new refrigerator being delivered today. And so we don't know when they're coming, but they could be coming literally any moment. So we transferred our old food into a big old cooler with ice, and that was very loud. So I just stopped filming for a moment. Coffee break. Cheers. Okay, so I think what I was saying is that I kept both my GameStop order and my Target order because, listen, GameStop has done some shady stuff in the past and everybody was saying that Target was canceling their orders. So I was like, at least if I have two, maybe one of them will come through. Listen, they might both cancel. I don't know. So then I waited until just a couple days before and I started reaching out to friends to be like, hey, I know that you didn't get a pre-order. Do you want my Target one, basically? And everybody said no because that one was not the bundle. I couldn't get the bundle from Target. That's what I got from GameStop. And so a couple days before I was able to cancel my pre-order. It did not charge me. It hadn't shipped yet. That was the other thing. That one wasn't going to get here until June 11th at the earliest. So I was like, at this point, I would just rather, I'm assuming that GameStop's not going to cancel because it's a couple days before and it's paid off. But if it does, I would rather try and find something in the wild than wait until June 11th. So that's what I did. I don't know if you can hear her hopping in, but my dog is coming to see me. So yes, so then fast forward to the actual day of. And my GameStop did not do a midnight release because it was inside of a mall. And so I had been able to order the bundle, the Mario Kart bundle, but I was not able to get a Pro controller, and I wanted one. So I decided to get there when they opened, so that I could try and snag a Pro controller, because I had asked the guy a couple days before and he said that they did have some. He couldn't tell me how many they had, but probably if you weren't one of the first few people in line, you're not going to get it. And so I was like, okay, noted. But also it's inside the mall. So in my head, I was like, you can't get there that much early because you can't even get to the store to line up outside of it. So I just Googled. I know that there's a big mall walker club set of people that walk around this mall. And I know that they can get inside before the stores and everything open. So I called the mall and Googled to see when the mall walkers are allowed in. Because it used to be they were allowed in like early, but now they're only allowed in 30 minutes before the stores open. So I also found out that they open one of the main entrances for the mall walkers first before they open all of the other external entrances into the mall. So I was like, well, then I'm gonna go to that one. So I don't get there until maybe 15 minutes before the doors are supposed to open, because I'm just like, there's no point to getting there hours early to sit in a parking lot, like whatever. Well, at the entrance that I was at, there was already quite a few people. There was already a few people in line, maybe 10, 15. So I was like, oh, we all had the same idea. But honestly, this isn't a bad number. I'm down with this. They're all just chill. Some of them are talking, some of them are not. We're all being adults about this. So I walk out and I get in line for where I am. And we've all got a single file line from the furthest door that they will likely unlock. So then the countdown happens. They do eventually unlock the door. And what I thought was really cool is that everybody stayed in line. Like, you had to go, GameStop was not close to the entrance, right? And it was actually closer to other entrances, but we just knew that this one opened first. And nobody ran, nobody was ridiculous about it. Everybody just walked from the front door that we were let in at to the GameStop entrance. And we all stayed in the same line that we were in outside. Nobody cut in front of people. Nobody was like, haha, I can walk faster than you. Everybody just stayed in the same line. And then we politely single file lined ourselves up. The GameStop employee saw us, came out and was like, wrong way, line up. He was like, everybody do the exact inverse. And you could tell when he said that he was kind of nervous that people are now going to like cut in line and stuff. But we were just some chill people. So everybody kept their exact same spot in line and then reversed it. So we were lined up the other way. And it was chill. And I was like, this is not bad. Like, I'm here for this. This is just a very calm launch day. I am enjoying this, okay? And then I hear somebody behind me. And he's like, can I ask you a question? And I turn around because I was the last one in line. I was close to the last in line. And because I only got there like 15 minutes before, and there were some people that apparently got there at 6:30 in the morning and were standing outside the front door that whole time. And good for you. I love the dedication. Couldn't be me. I need to sleep too much. So this guy goes, how did you get here so fast? The doors don't open till 10:30. And I just turned around and I was like, we got in when the doors open. Like, I'm not understanding what he's asking, but apparently he and his group of about 15 people behind him were all waiting at different doors. So our doors were the first to be unlocked, as it states on the website, and as it states if you call in, because this is where the mall walkers enter, and this is the time that the mall walkers enter. And then after this door is unlocked, they go around and unlock the other external doors. So it's like 10:32, 10:33. Like, it's not a huge difference in time, but you're now in the second half of the line because all of us were up here first. You're now back there. And this dude was just ticked because apparently he'd been there since 7 or 7:30 in the morning. Please hold. I think it's the fridge people calling me. You guys, we're going to get there. We might have to do several takes, but we will get there with this video. So anyway, dude has been here since like 7:30 in the morning, and he's very distraught because he should be number one in line. there should be nobody else in front of him because he had been sitting outside since that time in the morning, and none of us deserve to be in front of him in line. And age does not matter in this scenario. It really doesn't, because there's people of all ages that would feel the way that he felt and behave the way that he felt. But this man, he qualifies for the senior specials, okay? He can get cheaper movie tickets. He can get cheaper meals. And he was very much being the stereotype of his generation, okay? And he wanted everybody in front of him to explain, and basically he wanted to decide if they deserved to be where they were in line. I think it would have been a much smoother experience from then on out had literally everybody in front of me been like, oh, wow, you got here early, skip to the head of the line. I think maybe we would have heard the last of it, but nobody did that. Everybody just looked at it and went, cool, and then kept it moving. Like, what? And but you guys, I have this thing about me where people think that, I don't know, that I'm a listening ear, that I'm nice, that I'm friendly, and I am, but it's to my detriment. Like, if you are making me actively uncomfortable, I still stand there and smile and try and make you feel comfortable in the situation, because to not do that feels rude. But this was getting so uncomfortable that I literally turned myself, because he's on this side of me in the line. And so I'm now on my phone trying to ignore him, and he's just going. I literally take a phone call. He's just going. I turn and talk to these people. He's going. Okay, sir, tell me your entire life story. And he did. And that made me uncomfortable. I didn't actually ask him to tell me his entire life story. I physically did not stay in this setting because that just felt too rude. So I stayed like this, directly in between the two people on the other side. So I think he took that as an invitation to keep going and to tell me his whole life story. He was enraged that there were children getting the Nintendo Switch too. Children. Because children don't deserve it. Because children can't afford it on their own. And parents should not buy these things for their children. Was bragging to me that he, at a local credit union, was standing in line going off on this lady because he found out through conversation, because he just talks to everybody all the time, that she was buying one for her child, and he lost it on her and was very proudly telling me that he basically cussed her out on this, that, and the other because kids shouldn't have this. And when he was a kid, he wasn't allowed, and his dad made really good money, but his mom hated game systems, consoles, so his mom wouldn't let his dad buy them for him. So he worked 80 hours a week in the summer, and he saved up to buy them for himself as soon as he was like 15 and whatever. So basically, kids younger than 15 shouldn't be allowed to play because he wasn't. And 15 and up shouldn't be allowed to play if they're not paying it for themselves because he wasn't. And I'm just like, bro, okay? Like, we all have different life experiences, and I'm not going to hold every single person in the world to what I had to do growing up, especially if I hated it. And by everything that you're saying, you did not enjoy your growing up years and experience. So why would you not put that on everybody else? Stop it. So I did repeatedly disagree with him. And I think that he just kept going then because he was trying to change my mind. And I was like, I literally said, that's not the day and age that we're living in. Times are very different now than they used to be. And he was like, well, okay, but they should have to pay for it. And I was like, to each their own. And then he's like, I just think it's like irresponsible and terrible for parents to buy it for their kids. And I was like, they can spend their money on whatever they want. Let them spend their money. It's not your money. They can spend it on what they want. As long as we're not talking crack and illegal things, let them spend their money. And he's just like flabbergasted. And I'm like, I'm not going to agree. Like, we can keep going and I'm not going to agree with you. Honestly, what I should have done was literally physically turn my body away and be like, I'm no longer speaking to you, because that I think is the only hint that he would have taken. And even then, I don't think that he would have stopped talking. Like, it was just the time that we waited outside to get inside, chill, relaxed. We were all adults about this. We get inside, chill, relaxed. We're all adults about this. The second group of people get inside, pure chaos. It was just uncomfortable from then on out. And he was making people, several in front of me, uncomfortable. They were starting to do the full body turn and just completely ignore him. I wished that I had been standing where they were in line, because then I could have done that without being quite as rude. There was also a 2-year-old, like 3 people in front of me, throwing an absolute tantrum. And his mom was just like, YOLO, I've been waiting outside. I'm waiting inside. I can't leave because then I'll lose all of this. And I don't think that they had pre-ordered. So she was hoping to actually get like a day 1 release, because my GameStop did not separate us based on pre-ordered or not. Like it was one line for everybody. And I'm pretty sure that I heard her saying that it's obviously he's sleepy because it's nap time. He had a dirty diaper. She couldn't go change his diaper. He's just having a literal full-blown meltdown. To the point where when the GameStop employee came out 10 minutes before to tell us how this is going to go or whatever, he's like looking at her because nobody can hear him over the screaming and the echo screaming because of the shape of malls of her child. So then he had to go not person by person, but like chunk by chunk down the line, because otherwise he couldn't be heard. So I'm just texting my husband and I'm like, this is nuts. And keep in mind, he was not a proponent of me getting there. He's like, just skip all the chaos and pick it up later. You've already got it pre-ordered. And I was like, yeah, but what about the Pro Controller? I should have skipped all of the chaos and gotten it later and forget the Pro Controller, okay? Because also there's no saying that I'll get one. So it was just fun. But like, honestly, I wasn't even mad. I was uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable. And this gentleman over here was actively making me uncomfortable. And I did not enjoy that. The 2-year-old, I was kind of like, what are you going to do? If you are there's going to be lots of opinions of what you can do in that scenario. But if you're a stay-at-home mom and you have nobody to watch your child and you want the Switch, like, I guess do what you want to do. Everybody else is being chill about it. Nobody's throwing a fit. It's just, he's very loud. I think that's the thing. We had, by the end of it, probably 100 people, and everybody's being chill except 2 individuals. Exhibit A directly beside me and a 2-year-old toddler. And Exhibit A should have absolutely been behaving better than the 2-year-old toddler, but yet they were the 2 most uncomfortable and most vocal. So it was just nuts. And also Exhibit A was like, I bet that when they opened the doors, everybody ran over here. And he's basically like, he's not met a single me or any of the 15 people in front of me ever before. And he's basically referring to us as animals because we're young. And like, of course there's going to be chaos and we're not going to be organized. And I just looked at him and I was like, no, we walked. And he was like, you walked. Everybody walked. And then I think that irritated the guy in front of me, because then he turned around and he was like, yes, we did. And we actually stayed in the line that we were in outside. It was all very civilized. Like, stop being such a jerk. I don't know. It was a whole thing. So yeah, it was an experience. And then I don't know, something happened with the system or what, but GameStop finally opens and they come out and they tell us that they're going to let the first 10 people in and the rest of us need to stay out in line. They're not going to cram up their whole store. And then as one person leaves, one more person's allowed in. Like, that's just how it goes. But it was taking forever. And I know that other GameStops had it to where if you would like fully page yours off, you could just go. They would pull you up, see it's paid off, give it to you and go. That was not the case. They called that something, and I forget what they called it, but they didn't have that system, I guess. And so everybody just had to be in the same line. Whether you'd pre-ordered it, whether you'd not pre-ordered it, whether you'd paid any of it, whether you'd paid it all off, like everybody's just in one line. And dude behind me is mad because he doesn't want anybody to add anything. So if you pre-ordered the bundle, don't add the camera, don't add the adding anything is going to make this take more time. You lost out, like you don't get to add it. And I'm just like, that's such a selfish way of looking at this, because apparently he pre-ordered everything. So that's why he felt that way. He just wanted to be able to walk in and get it. I understand that. But I wasn't able to pre-order these things. I was lucky enough to pre-order the Switch Mario Kart bundle. And that's why I got here early and stood out here before the door opened to see if they had any of these things on launch day that will absolutely be sold out on launch day that I might be able to snag, since I didn't get to pre-order it. So trust to believe I did not let this man talk me out of buying anything. It was just funny. It was so uncomfortable at the time. It's funny because I'm fine. presumably he's fine. Everybody's fine. Like, whatever. It's just, bleh. Could you have allowed me to have a more enjoyable experience, please? And thank you, because literally everybody else there was. So all of that to say, I got the Switch 2, and it's glorious. This is the case, the Nintendo Switch 2 case that comes with it. There we go. Because the lighting, you can kind of not really see. I love that the poles are the colors. But I'm gonna be honest, this is a crappy case. Like, it's crappy. It is so thin that most cases have the individual cartridge holders. This doesn't. Like, this is so thin and so crappy. Worst part of everything that I purchased. But hello, you can see my Hello Kitty shirt. Isn't it so cute? But yeah, so this is so much bigger. So much bigger than the one. I know that they showed in pictures that it was bigger, but like, I don't think that you can really comprehend how much bigger without having it in person. Like, even me doing this, I don't think is showing you how much bigger. Like, it is so much bigger. I will say, I think that handles like this, Joy-Cons like this, should just be what Nintendo does. I don't think that they should do the flat Joy-Cons. Nobody likes them. That's why we buy all of the other Joy-Cons and put them on. That's why everybody's using the Pro Controller. So I guess this works for you to be able to sell more Pro Controllers. But just do this, okay? Because if this was your standard controller, you would have the market. Like, I don't think that people would be buying all of these third parties and stuff, because it would just be perfect, and it would come with it, and it would fit, and it would do all the things, and it would rumble, and all the things. So, yes, this is the Switch 2. Ooh, I just about knocked over all of my coffee. And I will tell you, I don't know how to say this without sounding stupid. I don't know fully what I expected, but it's better than I expected. What is the first game that I played on the Switch 2, you ask? Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Deluxe Edition. And I've been actively playing it every day, and I was playing it yesterday before I got the Switch 2 set up and everything. And immediately I could just tell it's bigger, the colors are brighter, the pixels are better, everything's better. Every single piece of it is better, and I love it so much. I just don't quite have words, but it was amazing. I have Mario. I downloaded it. I have not played it yet, but let me show you a couple things that I got. So firstly, this is the box. Thumbnail right there, thumbnail. What I will say, my Switch is perfectly fine, okay? Nothing wrong with it. But it opens like this, and on top of this, so you can see this cardboard flap, I put stuff under it, so that's why it's kind of popping up. On top of this was the Switch laying glass face up. The only thing covering the screen was this flimsy piece of cardboard. There was no foam. There was no extra protective, like, it came in something like this, like the smallest little plastic thing, but there was nothing protecting the screen of your $500 investment. It literally could not have been closer to the outside of the box. There was no physical way to make it less protected than what they did. So what the F? Like, inquiring minds would like to know. I don't understand. Mine turned out to be perfectly fine. I'm glad about that. Thank you. Appreciate it. But I was even telling my husband, I was like, could they have at least flipped it the other way so that it's like more in the box and protected? Because there's like some space under this piece of cardboard. There was stuff under it, but it's like wiggleable. But then he pointed out that if anything happened to the back of it, that's just as bad as breaking the screen. Like, if either side of it had broken, it's done. It's over. Elfine. So we're very confused, Nintendo, as to the packaging for this. I love the hefty box. I love my little Mario sticker. I love all the things. And mine came just fine. So I thank you. And I appreciate that. But for all the people at that, was it a GameStop or whatever store in New York, that y'all stapled the receipts to the front of the box And because there was nothing in between the box and the screen, they stapled the screen. So people get this $500 investment home, open it up, and boop, there's two little vampire fang pinpricks in the middle of their brand new screen. Broken. Before even, it was broken while still sealed. Like they had not even cut the tape before somebody broke their, what? I'd be livid. I actually don't know what's happening with that. I know that it happened. It was like all over the news. Are they getting replaced? Is that store having to replace it? Like, I don't know. Okay. I don't, but do better. Do better as a store. Use tape. And do better at packaging so that if you have stores that are short-staffed, losing sleep for this midnight launch, all the things, you can protect this investment as you are the developer and the packager and all of the things, and at least help them out a little bit, right? Like if they're going to stomp on it, drive over it, whatever, then yeah, it's still going to break. But geez. So this is then the box for the case, and it came with a film. It was terrible. It was so bad. I put it on and immediately took it off. This screen cover is the pits. So honestly, this thing was $40 and I'm pissed about it. This is if I could go back and redo it, I would not have purchased this piece. I'm glad to have it because I at least want a case before the rest of the cases come out to protect my investment. But this is not worth $40. Not at all. The screen that it came with was literally so flimsy and so bad. This is so thin. It's just not worth it. You guys, that surely was the refrigerator, people, and it is now installed and cooling, but that was a whole situation, and we're now hours later, so let's get back to it. So basically, I don't remember where I was, but what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go through some of my FOMO purchases that I picked up because I was early enough in line that they still had stock on these things. And I was like, if I don't get it now, I'm not going to be able to get it. So even though I don't think I'm going to use it, I'm going to go home and then want it, and then I'm not going to be able to get it. Exhibit A. You guys, how freaking cute is this little piranha camera? I don't have friends, like not ones that play video games. I have nobody to video chat with. My husband is in the same, we're looking at each other right now. Like there's literally no reason for me to have this camera. That's the back of the box. So I might just take it back. I don't know. We'll see. If my niece and nephew were older, maybe. I don't know. Okay. We'll just leave that there. I did snag the Pro Controller. Okay. Which is the whole reason that I went, and it's the whole reason that I went early. So I definitely feel like I need to keep this, but upon further thinking, I always use it in handheld mode. Like the only reason that I would want this right now off the top of my head is to play with my husband when we play Mario Kart on the actual TV. But 99% of my Switch playing is going to be in my hands. So then this is a very expensive controller to sit. I don't know, you guys. I'm overthinking all of this, but it makes me want to take this back and give it to somebody that still wants it out in the wild, that would actually use it consistently, because I feel like most of you do. So I don't know about that. Then, where to go? I went to, and this is the little code card that Mario Kart came with. I've already used that, so it will not work for you if you try it. But it's the full game download. So I put it on my system already. And I went to Best Buy yesterday. Excuse me. So GameStop was like a mostly good experience. I know that, everybody has feelings on GameStop and they're kind of controversial at this point, and that's totally fine. But they seemed to knock it out of the park with this release. They were much smoother than Target, obviously. They were much smoother than Walmart. Them doing in-person pre-orders seemed to go very well. Theirs weren't getting mysteriously canceled days before launch. Like, it just seemed like if you wanted to secure a Switch 2, GameStop was actually the way to go, which is surprising. But what they didn't have was the little code card for the online membership. And since I did not have a membership, I could sign up with the deluxe one because it says on here that like you cannot add the deluxe to an existing membership. So I wanted that, and I could have just logged into the eShop and paid for it, but I don't know. I wanted the card. So this is what I went to Best Buy for. And when I'm editing, I'll insert some pictures. They were sold out of everything, which is totally fine because they had done the midnight launch. But they did have this, and they had exactly one copy of Animal Crossing. I wasn't going to get this because the game that I want to start with is Fantasy Life Girl Who Steals Time. But they had exactly one copy left of this. And so I kind of felt like it was, what is it? Synchronicity? Serendipity? Which of those two words am I looking for? But what had made me mad was that this is a $60 game, and on the ticket it said $49.99, and I was like, that's the best that I've seen this, because on Amazon it's like 51, like you can get it like in the 50s but less than 60 several places. And so I was like, you know what, it's the only one left, it's $49, I'm gonna do it, and maybe I just won't get Fantasy Life right now. Took it up, he scanned it, my total was too much, I looked down, it was definitely $60, and I was like, but it said 49, and he was like, it was probably in the wrong place. And I was like, if you look at the tag, it says Animal Crossing, it says 49, and when I picked this up, there was a picture of this under it, like Blockbuster used to do when you took the last of the rentals, showing what was there and that you needed to restock it. It was not misplaced. But to his credit, the online price for this is $60. So I don't know who put the 49 whatever there, but they would not honor it, folks. They surely did not. But I was already mad, so I just checked out. So I'm actually contemplating returning this because I'm like, I could get it cheaper on Amazon. But I got it on the Switch release day. It was the only one there. I'm proud of it for some reason. So I might just go ahead and keep this. So dude at checkout is like not being helpful. Well, first of all, he was bent over the checkout counter on his phone, and I walked up. I wouldn't even say stood in line because there was no line. So I just walked up and politely stood there for a couple minutes, and then he saw me and he laughed. Like he was embarrassed. Like, oh, I got caught. But I didn't say anything. Like, whatever. It seems boring right now. Nobody's in here. But then he checked me out, was not very helpful with this, as I said, was just like, that's kind of your bad. And I was like, well, it's not my bad because I didn't put the price tag there. But I'm also not going to fight with you. Like, whatever. It's fine. I'll just go ahead and pay for it. So then I buy this and this, as I've already shown you. And I'm walking out, and I'm literally in between the two double doors. So I'm not even gone when something tells me to look down. I open my bag. This isn't in there. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I just paid $50 for this, and I don't have it. So I go back in, and I was like, and now he's helping somebody else. And I was like, excuse me, where's the code card? And he just looks at me and then hands it to me. Like it was directly in front of him. He still had the code card. I was like, what? Like I would have been so ticked if I came home and did not have that. Well, he could have used his words and explained to me, because like 5 minutes after leaving, I got an email from Best Buy with the actual registration code, and all I had to do was click on the email and it let me do my thing or whatever. Also on the printed receipt that he handed me with the game, the code was on there. I didn't know these things, so I thought that I physically had to have this, and that might be my bad. It is, because I didn't know, and whatever. But like, imagine me being a grandma that doesn't know this, and now I walk out and I feel like I can't give this to my grandchild because I paid for something and I don't have it. They're not going to know that that code is electronically somewhere. You have to tell us. Use your words. So I don't know. I feel like that one is split on both of us. I could have known that, but he also could have explained it instead of just keeping it and not saying anything. But also I'm a physical collector. So what if I wanted to hold on to this card? I bought it. I don't know. So Best Buy was not my favorite situation yesterday. Definitely GameStop trumped Best Buy. And also Best Buy is who just delivered our fridge. False. It was a delivery company that delivered our fridge. But that just reinforced my bad experience purchasing said fridge. And I'm just like, I'm on the outs with Best Buy. They are my oldest line of credit. I've been with them forever. We completely bought all of our appliances at our old house there. We've been slowly upgrading our appliances at this house with them. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's necessary anymore. We'll see. We will have to see. But these are the two things that I got there yesterday. And then what else? Oh, and then this. I just had to get little Karopi. He's like, I wish that he was holding popcorn, because that's the vibe that I'm getting. I'm getting popcorn bucket vibes. and it's just adorable. And I just love him, and he's squishy. So this is a lot smaller. I mean, they're both small, but this is still a lot smaller than the Bats Marie one. Oh, hold on. So we've then got these, and then this. So they're in size order. But yeah, I have a problem, you guys. I love Hello Kitty and Friends. In fact, I love Hello Kitty's friends possibly more than I love Hello Kitty, but I love all of them together. It's the collection that just makes it work, and I just love them. So I have now split this video into so many pieces that I just feel out of sorts. I've probably left something out. I'll figure it out when I'm editing, and then maybe we'll do a round 2 if I did leave anything out, or if there's more to the story that I wanted to share. But for now, GameStop was a winner. Best Buy was not. 99% of the people at GameStop were winners. A couple of y'all need to do some self-reflection. Sincerely, everyone else in that line. Please and thank you. So, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Let's hang out together and have a great weekend. Bye.